Hello my lovelies, this video is about how I turned this cat into this design. This was going to be the design for LPS Customs, but the sculpting was too complex for my skills, so I tried again. And I wasn't happy with this one either. So yes, here is the third try. Now, there are different reasons for each of them. Like I said before, one of the sculpting was complex. On the other one, the sculpting wasn't good enough. The fins and the tail were just too different, and there was some ugly parts. As an artist, I just can't let that go. As well as the painting, my white paint is just not as bold as I want it to be. So here we are. A base of tin foil, which I cover with the epoxy. This helps me not waste as much epoxy and just build up some shape really quickly. Yeah. So as you heard before, this is for the lovely LPS Customs. We are doing a custom trade. It is my first ever custom trade, and yay. So the design for this one was a fox crossed with a whale shark. So I asked LPS Customs a few different questions, and they gave me a few different answers, and from there I combined the different elements into something I thought would be fun to make, and that is what I'm doing. So this is a pretty repetitive process. I shape clay, I stick it down, blend it, then shape it, and then blend it some more, and I literally just do this on repeat for the rest of the thing. To make the shapes, I kind of use this pinching technique to make the triangle, and I often test it against the body before, just to see if it's what I want, and then I might change my mind and reshape it, or add some more, or take some away. So yeah, I don't know if I say this, but sculpting can, depending on how complex it is, only take anywhere from maybe half an hour to a few hours. This one I think took 2 hours to sculpt, and I ended up sculpting that over maybe 2 days. Well, actually maybe a few more days, but like as in groups, because I was just got inspired in the evening and then worked on it on a few days after. So yeah, now I know that the fins of like sharks actually are flat, like they're horizontal, and I put them vertical, but I couldn't put them vertical, I just couldn't do that because I felt like it would look weird. So now it looks even weirder actually, and you have to imagine that when this thing swims, it swims with its front arms wide out, and that's a pretty ridiculous thing to imagine, but here we are. Okay, so yeah, now I'm showing you how I do the cheeks, fluffs, because I wanted to make them more fluffy and maybe give a bit more fox definition. So I use my nail and that special tool, and then a rubbery tool to help smooth, pinch, and push the clay into something I'm happy with. Now you may be wondering why I chose this very ugly cat, and I sometimes wonder that myself, but I think like a lot of different bases have a lot to offer, and I want to try different shapes, different molds. So please, if you're watching, this is why I chose this kind of ugly mold, and I'm sorry if you don't like it, but I thought it would be very cute, and I also liked how the eyes are kind of drooped, and so I thought it would be kind of give off the feeling of a calm and mellow creature feeling, which is what whale sharks are very well known for. So yeah, cool. Now I'm just showing you, I also added a little bit of fluff just because I felt like it wasn't balanced. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it looks good, but it's also in a bit of a weird place because it's like right on the cheek, but yeah. Now I'm just making the fluff for the neck. This was like kind of difficult because my clay at this point was starting to get hard. It was also, I was trying not to touch any of the other sculpting around it, because that was all still a bit flexible. Like throughout this whole sculpting process, I had to keep going back to the tail because I kept bending it out of shape and like accidentally like touching it, so I had to spend some time readjusting it. But yeah, I did my best and I'm actually quite proud of it. It seems like every time I'm sculpting something I get a bit more complex and do a bit more. So this is the painting of this will be in the next video. Stay tuned, maybe like subscribe so you get a notification, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I don't think I've talked much about the process, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and I tried to include all the clips which showed you what I was doing. Hopefully the next video will be out soon. I have no idea when, but it should hopefully be soon. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!